Hey everyone, this is Blake Eisman and I'm one of the co-founders of Soundizers. Today we are very excited to show you our new product, StereoMonoizer, and I'm going to go over some of its features and show you how it works. So let's say you receive some files from your client to mix. Chances are you probably get a folder of WAV or AIF files. Most DAWs export tracks as stereo files, whether the source is actually stereo or mono. And so the first thing you have to do when you get these files from your client is to spend a lot of time sorting them out instead of just getting into the mix. StereoMonoizer makes this process a whole lot easier and quicker, and it takes the guesswork out of it too, which is great. So let's get into a little demo of how it works. I have a folder here that contains some audio files just to use as an example. So you just drag the whole folder into the window to import them into StereoMonoizer. And you'll see that when you do that, they instantly show up in the file list. Now once they're in there, the next step is to analyze. You just click the Analyze button and StereoMonoizer gets to work. It all happens pretty quick. So now that the files have been analyzed, you can see that we're being shown some information about each file. The files that contain mono audio in a stereo file will be converted to mono using either the left or the right side depending on where the audio is panned. StereoMonoizer recognizes all mono files whether they're panned center, hard panned, or partially panned to either side. The stereo files and the true mono files will be left untouched, and it tells you that by saying no conversion. Once you've done the analysis, you can hit Process to export the converted files. And I'll create a new folder called Output and then click Open. Then StereoMonoizer does its thing processing the files. Once that's done, you can open your output folder and you'll see the new files that have been created. They're both now true mono files ready to be imported into your DAW. Now there's one other thing I wanted to show you, and this is actually really cool. If you click on any of the files in the list, you'll see the waveform displayed in the waveform viewer. Now this one here, this is a mono file, and you can tell that because the waveform is displayed in gray. But if you go down to one of these stereo files, you'll see that the waveform appears in blue. The blue is actually showing the stereo content of the file. The more blue there is, the more stereo content there is in the file. For example, this last file actually has varying amounts of stereo content. Each section has more and more stereo reverb added, which increases the amount of stereo. And you can see that in the waveform by increasing amounts of blue. For the first time ever, you can actually see the stereo content of an entire file at a glance. Now there are plenty of other features and settings which you can see on the left side of the screen. Different processing modes and output modes to allow you to work in whatever way you prefer. You can read about these different options in the user guide or on the website, or better yet, you can just try the app out for yourself. Also, there's no limit to the amount of files that can be processed. I only did a few in this demo just to show you how things work. I actually just got a session the other day consisting of over 150 tracks, and all the files were stereo. I ran them through StereoMonoizer and it analyzed and processed them in just about a minute. It turned out that about 90% of the tracks were actually mono. Now this would have probably taken me close to 2 hours if I had to do it all manually. So I think you can see how valuable this app really is. So that's basically it. StereoMonoizer is quick, easy, and painless, and it's available now. So go to Soundizers.com to check it out for yourself. We have a 14-day fully featured demo so you can try it out on your own files and see how easy it is. I hope you can see how much of a time saver StereoMonoizer can be. Thanks for watching.